have argued that 2027 is being shaped now, not during campaign. In simple terms, the election has not started officially, but the game has already begun. We'll be looking at some of the binary opposition, some of the striking balances. If you look at incumbency, we'll be looking at incumbencies by the opposition coalition, which is now a prevailing reality. The ruling party has advantage. For instance, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is expected to seek for a second time. The ruling party controls the federal power, institution, and political structure. In Nigeria, incumbency often comes with access to state resources, strong party machinery, influence over political narrations. Opposition realignments opposition have to realign to come together so that they can, put a very good fight to the incumbents. Opposition figures like Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Kwankwaso, Amechi, Arufai, and many are forming a formidable alliance. A coalition under that platform is like ADC is emerging to challenge the APC in the coming election. Now let's look at the key reality. The opposition knows that divided votes have cost them the 2023 general election, talking about the presidency. So uniting to put a fight to APC cannot be overemphasized. So they have to strategize, come together, strategize so that they can give a fight to the incumbents. Nigeria economic situation, when you look at the economy, is the biggest political decider of this 2027 general election. Now, Nigeria economic situation will heavily influence voters' behavior. Again, security is one thing. A political test of legitimacy is one very big factor. And again, electoral credibility and INEC reform is one of the things that is because there is a renewed push for electronic transmission of results. A pressure from civil society group for transparent election result is one thing that will shape the election. Again, there is a rise of youths and digital politics. Is one very, very important because as youths are coming up, springing up to form a lot of support groups, and now that we are in digital world, social media, getting real life fits from polling units is one of those things that is going to shape and determiner in the election. Again, there is identity. Identity politics is still another thing that is very, very important. You look at regions, the north versus south. Again, we look at religion that has play out in the last election, the election that brought in President Muhammadu Buhari, and again that of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where there is campaign by different religious groups. Some people call for Muslim ticket, and some Christians call for Christian candidature. So all those are another factors that we cue in. Again, we look at women and youth inclusiveness in government. The pressure you're going to have from the youth, whether they are being included in the governance or whatever. So in summary, election has not started politically, but you can see a lot of political activities is ongoing. So that's incumbency versus coalition party is another defining factor. One thing that will shape in. So we're going to see the incumbent coming with its own might, and the coalition who are coming with different political platforms, marry them together in order to be united to face the incumbent. So that's another very, very important. Again, like we talk, economic hardship, or recovery will decide the voters' mood. If there is economic hardship, how the government is able to bring a quick win measures so that they recover quickly to go into election is another very important factor. Security, which remains a major critical test for this government. If the government can probably come up with deliberate security measures to put in place. And if the opposition on the other side around, if the government does not utilize that, quick win game, the opposition may want to capitalize on that weaknesses to, change the rhetorics. Again, digital influence and misinformation. Here you'll be looking at how the social media and other media could effectively be used, and campaign of calumny is another very important factor that will definitely. So these are some of this is our general overview, but at this point in time I think it's important, really I should have put a call to one of my resource person, but since I couldn't get him, I have to give you general overview. But it's important again, if we can have his own if he's standing, if we can get him now, so that we have his own opinion before we throw it back at you. We can't do away with 2027 election is one very important thing that Nigerians are looking up to now. So you're going to see a lot of things coming up from the election. But before the election, it's important that we enlighten and educate ourselves to look at how it is, so that by the time we are dissecting it, no matter what it comes with, the pressure will be lesser, because already the discussion has started. So as we are discussing it, we build looking at gray areas, so that there's the upset that we are going to see in the election will not be so much. I think I've gotten. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good
morning, sir.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, you are live on Badeggi Radio 90.1 FM, Mina.
Okay, my pleasure.
Yes, thank you very much.
Online.
Yes, and Sadiq Ibrahim is the person we are having listeners, a public affairs analyst. And Sadiq Ibrahim, we are looking at the current political reality of the country vis-a-vis the 2027 general election. How will this shape the current reality of the country? How will it shape the 2027 general election?
Yeah, thank you very much. Without wasting time, we know that what we now call the current reality has a foundation. When General Obasanjo started the fourth republic, which is a democratic governance and a presidential system of government that was supposed to have independent of each. Independent of the executive, the judiciary, and the legislative arms of what constitutes democracy. That time it started, and it was going in a manner that the executive then was encroaching into all these other two, particularly the legislative, in a manner that they will even go and Gestapo arrest of the governor or House of Assembly. So you can see that gradually the politicians start to learn the art of suppressing the opposition, of suppressing the public voice. And we are where we are today because we moved, we improved. And Nigerians, we know how to improve on negativity. We know how to do something that is of benefit to us alone. You now understand the democracy itself has been weakened to the extent that it is now in an individual's hands. It is an individual that dictates what happens, and how they dictate it is that they will be the one to say, they will be the one, they are the party, they are the executives, they are the, you call it anything, of course. They are extending it to judiciary to an extent that everywhere is threatened as far as our democracy is concerned today. So seeing what is happening now is not a surprise to me, because it's an improvement of the previous thing that has happened on check. Everybody, because we all put our stomach in the front, our God put our stomach in the front. we reason in all our reason is just about our stomach. It's not just about democracy. Most of the institutions that are supposed to support and guide democracy have been weakened to an extent that there is nothing you can actually rely on. So I know quite well that those who are in control now, they already know. Like the president said, he said the Miloko is his turn, and we know that this thing is going to be turn by turn. Since it's going to be turn by turn, definitely, whether they like it or not, this group will go away. But my fear is that the situation is going to worsen more than that. You can see at the state level, when you see at the state level to the federal level, you see at state level, it is like one man show. So no one can even have the courage to ask whether the legislators are there at all is another question, because one can hardly see their visibility as far as questioning the elective is concerned and carrying out the oversight function. You can see how they even suppress local government in totality, that local government cannot function, and these are consequences. The consequences are obvious. The kind of insecurity you have in all these areas, I mean, there is no doubt that if the local government are empowered, and you can equally see that the Supreme Court gave an order, and no one is obeying it. And everywhere where we are now, you can see how currently the ruling party have tampered with the opposition in Labour, in PDP, in ADC. All of us are aware, and it is even those doing it know what they are doing. All they are doing is just to win power by force, whether you like it or not. So where we are going now, you can see recently that even INEC, without even having started, already the integrity of the person there are already being questioned, because we all know the kind of system we are operating. So 2007, if the politicians who are actually the beneficiary of the democracy we are practicing decide to destroy it, then, well, that means that the 2007 will likely witness something we are not expecting. But if they are ready to continue, at least managing it as it is, making sure that democracy survives, then they should allow a free space that democracy allow for all the institutions of democracy to function, at least minimally, to check, I mean, as a check and balances of the institution. You can see the National Assembly. The National Assembly is nowhere in totality. You cannot see it. I've never seen where a loan is approved before even getting to the National Assembly. What they call oversight function is no longer there. So everybody is just me and myself, and those people around those who are in government. They know what is happening, and everybody is looking for the scrum to pick from the plates so that they too can survive, and that's where we are now.
So are you now saying that because of this political culture that we have actually, been used to since the return of democracy in 1999, we have improved on that we have not, so that is going to affect our election, that this you bring about issue of a Khan, it's my turn, everybody have to wait for his turn. You actually talk about in the state, it's one man show. So are you now saying that 2027 is not going to be different, that people cannot actually, change the game, talking about the electorate? They cannot use their vote to change the game, since you're talking about a one-man show and the Omelocon thing?
Well, we can use our man. I mean, we can use our vote to effect changes if those who are there allow it. But whether they will allow it is a different ball game. Seeing what is ongoing now, you can perceive, you can see, you can guess what we are likely going to meet as far as election is concerned. When you look at the history of election in this country, except during that Obasanjo's election that was contested by Falaye, Yaradua himself came and declared, the late Yaradua, that look, this election that brought me I was rigging. So what has been happening is an improvement on these shenanigans. It's an improvement of this, it's an improvement on negativity, like as I said, on low. And the institutions that are supposed to work to guide all this, to guide the operation of all, to make this operation what we call election, what we call democracy, what we call check on the attitude of the executive, what we call the compliance to law, are already weakened. You can, even in the past election, there are photographs or video photographs of where you see even the security men helping to rig election. You see where money are being exchanged to buy, so you can be rest assured that with this stock of money being stockpiled here and there that people are not benefiting from, they are only asking us to have patience. But when you continue to have patience to know the destination, when will the patient, what are we expecting? Like when somebody has a fracture, you take it to the hospital, you are expecting when you go there, definitely they will treat it and you will cry. But the doctor will give you hope, and the hope is that gradually you see it in you that this your fracture is gradually, the pain you will reduce. But the Nigerian pain are increasing day in, day out, and somebody is telling you, don't worry, we are doing to make sure that the life will be better. But life is getting harder and harder, and they will use this election. Recently, you see what is already happening in the political arena, where, as usual, they will do face cap, they will do T-shirt, they will give 2,000, 10,000, 5,000, depending on your level. So that is exactly what we are going to see. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not a pessimist, but seeing what is going on now, who is going to ask questions?
But the Senate President has once said that we have, actually improved in our electoral processes. Now, judging by, what is happening now, some of the ills you have just identified now, and considering the fact that we said that there is more enlightenment, Nigerians are more informed than before, considering what happened in the return of democracy to now, we relatively have improved in terms of our voter education and awareness. Now, what are we likely going to see in the election? Are we going to have voter apathy, or we have vote buying, or Nigeria coming to reject whatsoever is going to be given to them, so that they can bring in people who have capacity to take them to promised land? What is your take on this? What are you seeing?
Yes, what we first of all happen to know we are going toward the right direction is what we call party internal democracy. As it is now, that is not visible enough as regards as party internal democracy is concerned. So people are being pinpointed by individuals who governors. You see, governors now are anointed who will take over from them. They are even nominating who will be a senator, who will be this, who will be that. So in such a situation, I doubt whether the combination of the three things you said, vote buying, vote apathy,
and protest vote,
apathy, all these things will combine, and this combination. Something the day before yesterday, whether whether Sami Badue or I can't remember the name, who was a former governor in one of these eastern states, either in Imo particularly. No, when they are asking him to spend money on vote, what he said was that my my new schools are built, my new hospital are built, the new roads I have built, the farmer have empowered, the company have brought. We campaign for me. So these people don't have that confidence. They don't have anything to say we campaign for them. That's why you can see already 32 or 31 governors are in one political party. And you can see that most of them didn't do it willingly. They were coerced. You now ask me how they are coerced. And those who refuse to join them, you can see what they are suffering, what they are going through. And you can see the like of Erufai, the like of Malami. It's not that I'm supporting any crime they have done, but I know that if they are very strong in the ruling party, all that is happening to them now will not happen to them. So I'm not confident enough that this election will produce the masses, the electorate desire candidates, because already we can see that rigging have already started by nominating by the governors, by the president himself, bringing people, forcing people to fall in line and not acting according to their wishes. And what is remaining for us now is that we will mobilize the electorate to understand the game these people are playing us. Who? The opposition? Who? Yes. So it is the only reliance we have, because we don't have opportunity for independent candidates. The only reliance we have is the remaining opposition that is the last opposition standing by, and whether that one will work, whether they will have the capacity to go through all these modules and stuff, well, time will tell. But as far as I'm concerned, I can predict the result of what is going to happen. That will exactly happen as far as our election is concerned. Look at the local government election. It's an example of what they want to do now. Local government election where the governors take over almost everything. They put a kind of kangaroo, what they call SIEC. They nominate who will contest election, even the councillor, as to this thing. So it is now, this as I said earlier, that Nigeria will copy the negative aspect of this democracy for selfish interest. So you can see that we are gradually moving to the national level, where the president will dictate almost who will be whose turn will be according to the Milocos land.
All right, thank you very much, Sadiq Ibrahim. I believe you have an engagement, so I want to appreciate you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, listener, that has been Sadiq Ibrahim, a public affairs analyst who gave us his own overview as far as the current political reality of the country vis-a-vis the 2027 general election. What is going to determine the result? How it's going to look out? How the election is going to be shaping based on the reality? We look at the incumbents, some of the federal might they might want to use as usual. This is not synonymous to this government. It has always been like that since the return of democracy in 1999. We have seen how incumbency actually used its might to get its way, and opposition in other way around. For them to wrestle power from the sitting government, they have to come together and form a coalition or a merger. It has happened in 2015, where the incumbent, the current party in power, which is the APC, have to come together. Many political parties met together to wrestle power from the PDP, and today, history is about to repeat in itself. The same people who coalesce against another government, a coalition against their own government, is ongoing, and there is a lot of political drama in the country. So we want to look at this political drama. We want to give you opportunity so that let's begin to discuss this and create awareness and enlightenment, educate ourselves ahead of the 2027 general election, so that when it is time for the election, we should have a relative election where we understand ourselves, so that we don't go into election as if we are going into war. We understand, our position. Everybody will have to take vantage position so that when it comes, you have to play a safe game, because